What is up? What is up, Badge Brigade? We are back for another edition, Badge Bros. We're going to be breaking down Thursday Night Football. And we're coming off a night where we played all the best plays. We played the MLB streets. We played all the best plays. We had them all, and we didn't make a dime. And I think it's a beautiful lesson. It's a beautiful lesson to talk about what we were talking about yesterday, about ways to get unique, ways to get contrarian if people are chasing all the same points. Last night, we had all the Robbie Ray. We had all the right side of the Coors game. We had all the Mookie bets. We had the right pieces of the Cleveland game, and we didn't make any money. And it's because everyone else with half a fucking brain did as well. So when we're diving into this Thursday and Sunday slate and we're looking at it and we go, oh yeah, everybody wants Russ. Everybody wants Denver. That's where the sharp money's going to be at. Well, everyone's fucking thinking that way. Everyone is thinking the exact same way. So let's get different. Let's get weird. Let's build some unique lineups and let's bring in the Badge Bros. How we doing, gentlemen?
Good.
Doing great. I feel I'm feeling really hard for you. Hearing this news about not making any money on that slate after playing those plays, man. Those are bad beats, but like you said, it's good lessons, man. It's not an L, it's a lesson.
Exactly. And I think that's the takeaway. And that's why I wanted to bring it up. It's not woe is me. Oh, I lost money last night. Oh, I didn't beat the games. Oh, I played the best plays, but I still didn't win. Oh, I'm so sad. It's like, let's learn from this. Like, why didn't we win last night? Right. So yeah, it's just interesting to think about when you're chasing all the same points that everyone else is chasing. Like, what are we doing out here? Right.
Mm-hmm.
I just realized I have a 3-man layout and I have no idea what I did with it. I thought it was like sitting right here.
Get your stuff organized, man.
Yeah. I'm doing my best. I'm doing my best.
You're doing a phenomenal job. Let's be honest. You are crushing it with these thumbnails and these extra layouts, man. With the production value, I don't care what all the haters are saying.
Man, look at that. Boom. Quality.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
Surprise. Yeah, let's just dive right into this slate. Like, how many we've been drafting so far? Like, Numi, how many you got under your belt?
20.
20 under your belt. And what are you gravitating toward right now?
Russ single stacks, and then
the
passing game in Cleveland and Pittsburgh.
Interesting. Well, that's probably price point based, right? Because if you're targeting if you're targeting the Denver pass game, you got to spend up on Sutton, right?
Yeah, I'll do it regardless, but I'll take anyone regardless if it's from Deontay down to Cooper. Like, I think it's interesting. I think a lot of people are focusing, we'll get into it, but like the weather, so that's how I've been trying to focus it on is my little get different while still thinking Russ will be the key in the whole thing. So.
Right. Yeah. I kind of agree. I mean, I think he's in a tier of his own right now at the quarterback position. And I think the weather and stuff gives us a lot of pause in this tonight game. But I don't know if that's where all the smart money's going. How are we going to get weird with it? Right. Nez, what are you liking, man?
Hey, not the Steelers, not the Steeler game. Really not excited about this game at all. I think it's going to be disgusting, and so is everybody else. So, you can take that and use that as leverage because there are some like very, very good usage rates on the Steelers offense, like as far as who's on the field and who's seeing the ball or seeing targets, like that is pretty tracked, like that can be tracked pretty easily. Okay. So, if you want that offers some nice leverage. If you are going to fade the worry of that game, well, Najee has elite volume. Pickens is like goes late. So there's options.
Okay. Yeah, I like it. Silas bringing up the fact that he might be full fading Najee. I think this is an interesting talking point, the whole notion of fading and full fades and that sort of thing. And I think it's number of entries dependent, of course, because I think a full fade Najee in a vacuum is probably a pretty bad play. But I think full fading Najee on 10 entries is entirely fine, right? That being said, how's that offense going to look if we get the weather in which we're talking right now? Like what did we have? We threw out the tweet earlier.
It's right now. It's gusty winds, sustained winds around 20 miles per hour, gusts around 30. That is enough to impact throws, kicks, especially longer throws and kicks. This is per Kevin Roth.
Well, it's a good thing Mitch Trubisky doesn't have any trouble throwing the football, so nothing to worry about.
Yeah, he's always on the money, right? It's no big deal. The funny thing about that is for those who don't know, the magic number in football and DFS is about 18 miles per hour. That's the magic number with wind where it'll genuinely affect. Now, shit can change, obviously. Like, we're so early in the day and I'm not a meteorologist and weather changes, right? So it's just something to be cognizant of and constantly monitoring. But that magic number of like 20 with gusts of 30, like that sounds very bad for passing attacks. But it also depends which way it's blowing, right? Like, is it blowing in and then they flip sides of the field and then now all of a sudden it's not as big, but if it's a cross breeze. So there's all these little things and we can get in the nitty gritty of that, but let's just build some fucking sick lineups, right? Like, it doesn't.
Yeah, let's just do that instead.
Yeah.
I actually kind of retract my point. I think now that the wind is there, maybe these offline Mitch Trubisky throws get a little wind bump, and now it's like right in the pocket of Deontay Johnson. Go. I think it's actually good for him. We got to change the narrative. If you don't like what they're saying,
Trubisky's normally off by 10 yards. That 10 miles per hour is going to shift it. I love it.
Optimism here.
That's why you come to the Badge Bros. We're thinking outside the box.
No one's giving you this.
Nobody's giving you that. Oh, that's so good.
Thank you.
I want to dive. You just hit on the usage stuff right there. I just want to bring up the Najee he was 71% of snaps last week. He got injured or banged up in week 1. So that number we can't really read too much into. But Jaylen Warren did get mixed in last week. And whether it was Najee isn't 100% or whatever, because I'm just thinking out loud based on the fact that Silas brought up Najee, because Najee last year was like 100% of snaps, 95, 80. 65. I don't know what happened that week. 85, 82, 87, right? Like, so we're accustomed to this player that never leaves the field, and buying Najee is just buying that volume. But all of a sudden last week, whether it was, still a little banged up, we don't know that. I actually don't have the practice schedule in front of me this week. I think Najee was full all week, but just something to think about.
He was a full participant all week leading up to it, which is just like strange. I feel like at this point, because like just the whole way they handled that injury really rubbed me the wrong way. And I will say they love Jaylen Warren. They were talking him up all camp. I was like putting my little signal boost out there, like, hey, no one really wants the backup running back for the Steelers, but he's an injury away from like, oh my God, like 1% Jaylen Warren ownership or whatever it is in BBM, like shit. Knock on wood that doesn't happen because I've got a large stake in Najee. But
do you have a main event Najee team? Is that what you have?
with the ship chasing dudes? Yeah, it's fantastic. We're on the up. We're on the up.
It was quite the show.
That team is aging well, but I digress. All that to say, Jaylen Warren. They love Jaylen Warren. He was getting a lot of hype in camp. They started to use him. They were really he had a really nice pass block on one of these plays. Like, he does like all the little things right. He's like coaches are losing, like they love this guy. So he is somebody that I think is really sneaky on a slate that is very gross. And if you need a flex option and you don't have Najee, like I think he's worth a look. I mean, the flex on this slate is probably gonna score like 7 points and like still bank.
No, I kind of like that thought process because of the implied totals of both these contests, right? Like, we're looking at 38 total tonight. Like, the Steelers have a 17-point total. Like, okay, I'm not sure we really want to be buying points there. But yeah, but then the other side is it's only 44.5 in that Denver and Niners game, and I think we'll all agree that the majority of the talent and point scoring should be on that Broncos pass catching side if they get Judy as well. And that's kind of where everyone's eyes are naturally like gravitating towards right now.
Yeah.
But let's find a little way to get different from that. I'm going to bring up the totals and whatever so we can just talk through a couple of these spots right here. Let's see. Actually, you know what I'll do is I want to bring up the ADP, and we'll start with ADP. Mm-hmm. Let's not go so broad and start with ADP. So, Numi, why don't you tell me this first round, these kind of targets and whatnot? What's jumping out to you? Who's your 101? Is it Chubb right now? What are you guys looking at?
Yeah, I just kind of like it's normally Chubb. I did a couple Debo, but it's mainly been Chubb. Although I do like Hunt too, so I've that's why I kind of mixed in the Debo and done that. But yeah, it's either Chubb or Debo for me right now.
Okay, yeah, I tend to agree. Nez, are you in the same boat?
Yeah, I think it's. You can definitely make a case for taking Debo. If you just don't think maybe Chubb isn't going to get home like he's going to need to. I think this is you're kind of looking for one of these skill position guys to go off and hope that they just carry you. Like it's going to have. I don't think it's going to be a big construction effort. It's just like you got to hope that one of these first round picks or one of these first few guys are the guy. But Chubb obviously has a very, very nice floor here. They're given the weather, probably going to run a lot. They're favored at home. Chubb Lines is a pretty good number one pick, but yeah, I wouldn't hate you if you took Debo.
I'll speak to the Debo point. Is I think a very nice starting 2-man, and this is kind of we'll jump into our little bits here. Mm-hmm. Favorite expensive 2-man stack. I'm gravitating to Debo plus Hunt. And if I get Debo at the 102 or I get Debo at the 101, I go Debo plus Hunt unless Williams falls, which is very rare in these drafts. But Debo plus Hunt to me sounds very intriguing because you get the rushing from Debo, you get the explosiveness from Debo, and then it gets the why can't it be a Hunt game, right? And then the Hunt leverage is leverage off of Chubb. So with your 101 or your 102, you're getting 2 points of leverage. You're getting Debo on his lonesome, and you're getting Kareem Hunt as direct leverage. As if Hunt's scoring, Chubb's probably not, right? So that's what I'm gravitating towards. What do you guys like? Expensive 2-mans from any draft slot.
New, you want to start?
Yeah, no, that's kind of like my thing right there. I have five lineups of the Debo Hunt.
Yep.
One thing that it's my showdown brain and just trying to think of unique lineups in these large fields that have the possibility of getting there that people just don't like to click. And I know it's 2 games, so it's a little different, but I like I've done a lineup of I've done 2 lineups of Chubb Hunt, and then I've done 2 lineups of Gordon and Williams.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Melvin Gordon.
Yeah, no, so I like that.
That's just little things I like to do. So for, I guess, an expensive 2-man that's interesting, the Chubb Hunt, I know it's like but if if 2 get a touchdown, or if Hunt gets Chubb gets to 2, and then Hunt's involved in the passing game, they still have their ways to get there, especially with the totals of these 2 games. So
yeah, I mean, you could paint a narrative where they score 3 touchdowns on the ground, and it's all those 3. None of the pass catchers get there from the Cleveland side. You have one Pittsburgh run back who's maybe tight end. It's Freiermuth, and then all of your skill position stuff or all your pass catching stuff comes from the other game environment. That makes a lot of sense to me.
It's just things I think through. That's definitely not my go to over and over again.
No, of course not. Yeah.
Like I like thinking of weird things like that can possibly hit home. So
no, I think that's a super sharp approach to this. And right off the hop, we were talking about how to get unique. Well, there you go. Pair those 2 running backs that nobody wants to click on both. Pair them together and then get weird elsewhere. Nez, who do you like as expensive 2-man stack?
I'm really gravitating away from the Pittsburgh Browns game just completely. Okay. I just would love to like have as little of that as possible. So doing some form of like, I think the most realistic way to get on this Denver Niners game is like a full game stack is doing something like Cortland Sutton, getting Russ, and then getting Kittle, and then hoping that this game like exceeds its total and goes off, because you can get some nice pieces of both of those offenses. Like you can get Melvin Gordon, you can get like I mentioned, George Kittle, Brandon Ayuk. I'm not expecting Judy to play. That is my like unprofessional opinion of that situation, just with the shoulder.
Yeah.
I would. He has an extra, a day playing on Monday night to get right. So
it's Sunday night.
Oh, it's Sunday night. Okay. Yeah. Thank you. So a couple hours. But I think part of that, is just going down narrative street here on the Niners side is saying like, okay, Jimmy gets a week of practice. He wasn't like running with the ones. Now he gets a week of practice. They can like game plan a little better knowing that Jimmy's at quarterback. And now we kind of get to see that offense rolling a little bit more with Debo, even Jeff Wilson with his awesome volume. I'm taking a good amount of Jeff Wilson as well. So just getting on this game and taking like, and just like, I've passed over like Deontay at a pretty good value to stay on this game. And so far I've only done a few drafts. So that's just where I'm heading right now.
No, I like that. I like that a lot. I've been building out some onslaughts of just that game and like just that environment and just full fading the other game, like just not in the context of all your lineups, but in one isolated lineup. Like, why not? Right.
Yeah. What I will say about Judy, and if it's him and Hamler in the last rounds and you have the option to take him, he's my highest exposed player. Because the talent,
say the same thing.
Yeah, the talent that's there, and I think you know where I'm gonna go. Like if he doesn't go, then and if Hamler's still there, you're getting Hamler. If Hamler's going, if they're not going, Kendall Hinton. You know what I mean? He's most likely going to be the wide receiver too. Yeah. So I know it's not, but I mean you're still getting my swaps. I'm still going to be getting the wide receiver too in the offense. So.
You mean backup quarterback? You mean backup quarterback Kendall Hinton?
Yeah, QB2.
Yeah,
QB2.
He's like the Walmart version of Debo, basically. So, but yeah. So that's one thing I will say. And I've been, when I see him in that end of that fifth, sixth round, and he's always there. It's been an auto click because if he does
auto click for me too.
And I know it's tough because we like to say his ADP will rise. Well, the contest locks tonight.
Yeah,
and we don't know, but it's like if it's not going to continue to rise, and this is how the contest is going, I'm just going to bite the bullet and then just take the swap. You know what I mean? Yeah. So
that speaks exactly to what we talked from a theory standpoint on Monday or Tuesday or whatever with Mark there, where it's just embrace this variance. We're playing for first. Like, who cares if I light 11 lineups on fire because I have Judy in them and it turns into Hamler or it turns into best case scenario is Hamler, but let's say it turns into Washington, turns into Montreal, Washington or whatever. I guess okay, I lost 10 buy-ins in this contest, but it's just like, it's embracing that exponential ceiling of a player that would probably go at the 3-4 turn every time, like Sutton plus Judy, and then people hope for Russ to come back, or they go, Judy over Sutton with a running back from the first game. I don't know, just thinking through scenarios out loud where if there wasn't this overarching concern, but we know that I'm always going to embrace that variance. So I'm just preaching to the choir right now, right?
Yeah. No, that's smart. That's a good way to play it. I mean, if he's out, have one of those Broncos wide receivers to swap, and now they, he's off the field. They're going to see the field more. Like it's kind of like a win-win.
Yeah, if they're going to throw to Andrew Beck, which I know he was doing well, but like if they can throw to the people they were throwing to in these last games, I think these other wide receivers can get some targets. Russ is going to, so that's how I see it.
Yeah.
I think it's noteworthy that last week after Judy got hurt, it was basically all Kendall Hinton. It was 76% of snaps. And then whatever a Tyree Cleveland. Tyree Cleveland.
Yeah, I think it's
don't know.
Tyree. I saw him.
Tyree Cleveland. Yeah.
Yep.
He played 43. So I don't know. Might have to do a deep dive on him. Probably should have deep dove him before this show. But yeah, I don't know. It's just interesting. Like, no, I guess maybe we just get a swap in Kendall and it's kind of fine. Let's jump to the next one here. Let's talk about favorite cheap two-mans. We kind of classify this as after the third round or whatever. Who wants to? Nez, you're right below me. You ready for one, or Numi, you got one for me?
Yeah, I do. I think getting. I mean, Kareem Hunt doesn't necessarily go in the third, but I will say
he was part of my expensive stack. I will not allow it.
Okay,
I will not allow
then
it.
Let's go Steelers wideouts here.
Okay,
I think
cool.
if you want to fade the consensus of everybody being scared of this weather, George Pickens is out there right now. As many would say, are just running wind sprints because he's running a ton of routes, but he just is not seeing like any targets. And Matt Canada's seat has never been hotter. You got to think that something changes, even though the weather is not looking great. I really like Pickens and Claypool here as late options, just because there's no other Steeler wideouts really seeing the field. So there is a chance that one of these guys.
Pickens played one less snap than Deontay last week.
Right. Like,
I mean, he's out there all the time. It's just a matter of time.
He's doing his best Tony Snell impersonation right now.
yeah.
0, 0, 0s down the board.
Yeah.
So and they they didn't give Claypool the runarounds that they gave him in week 1, but I think given that the wind is blowing so hard tonight, maybe they go back to that. So these guys on the Steelers side will get touches despite Mitch Trubisky being the quarterback and the weather being ass.
Yeah. No, I like that too. I like it especially once the quarterbacks have gone and you just get a little mini with Mitch and that's your only exposure to that game environment.
Mm-hmm.
I don't love it, but slates are gross, right?
Yeah,
slates are gross.
You kind of don't have a choice.
Exactly. Yeah. Numi, what are you gravitating towards late?
I like the Judy Hamler and then Juwan Jennings.
Okay, Juwan Jennings. I like that too. Yeah, I mean, I'll scream the Judy thing from the rooftops with you. We kind of beat that one to death. But talk to me about Juwan Jennings. Why?
I mean, it's just I think with Jimmy there, it's going to be they're still letting him get ramped up because he's been there, but he hasn't been doing anything. You know what I mean? He hasn't been taking the reps. But I mean, Juwan Jennings has always been like a guy that he's their third wideout. And if Kittle, it's kind of like I have him on the lineups that I don't have Kittle, and I have Kittle as tied with Judy. So it's kind of like I'm banking on those lineups. If Kittle doesn't go, even if he does go, I still expect him to pass a little bit more and then maybe be down. So I'm expecting the environment, and he just needs that one play to hit. You know what I mean? Like I'm just thinking I just kind of think through the passing options, and there's not many people pulling away. I mean, you have Debo, obviously you have Debo on the same team, and that's also it's kind of direct leverage off of Debo in a way. And I don't have him really on any. I think I have one Debo lineup with him, so it's kind of like to your point when you were, or to the point where basically you draft players in the back end that kind of leverage off the top, and that's how I got. If Debo is going to be a 1-2 every time, I've even done it with. I'll even throw in Juwan Jennings and Kyle Juszczyk. I've done 2 Kyle Juszczyk lineups. Like,
okay, yeah, why not?
It's literally like these island games. We see these people score the most. Like, who is this? What? Oh, Juszczyk vultured. It's like, well, I'm tired of of going every slate and just seeing. Yeah, and Jordan Mason's a great call too. I instantly have him, but I just think Juszczyk is a different. I think people will instantly go Mason over Juszczyk, and what's to say Juszczyk just doesn't get that
the long touchdown
or that goal line literally on like the. Any in goal right on the inch line, and they just full back to dive to Juszczyk. You know what I mean? Like they use Juszczyk in ways. So that's just something I've been thinking. Like
big fan of that.
Yeah, just the players that definitely have the ability, and I know a lot of them do. But like I don't know. That Kyle Juszczyk one. I'm just thinking. I kept thinking, oh yeah, you're super smart. You can
Juszczyk on prime time. You can just see it, right?
Yeah, it's just you're gonna see that weird touchdown. You're gonna see something happen.
Sorry, John. Go ahead.
Nez, did you turn up your mic there? Turn it down a little bit again.
Oh, did it?
Yeah, I don't know. It just cranked for some reason.
Oh, weird. Is it okay?
Yeah, it's fine. Just whatever. Just be mindful.
I don't even know what happened.
Yeah, I don't know what happened either. That was bizarre. Okay, so I like Kittle a lot for those same reasons. I think this Niners pass attack is heavily undervalued right now, both because of people's preconceptions about Jimmy, but also largely because most likely no Patrick Surtain, and then presumably his backup, Darius Phillips, probably not there either. So you got Ronald Darby on one side, and then what? I don't know. Like there's chances that they can pick this secondary apart. I mean, it's not the secondary that we've seen the first couple weeks from the Broncos. So I don't know, just throwing out a little football guy bro science there, but that's kind of where I'm looking at and going, okay, Kittle's got that question mark tag beside his name. He's the third tight end off the board. Pardon? Like that doesn't seem right to me. And I think it's all getting suppressed.
And he falls too. Like it's not even like a mistake.
Yeah, but I love Newbie's point to leverage against our Kittle exposure in case he doesn't play, to mix in a couple of those Juwan Jennings either as run back or either on its own, whatever. I think we've it's harder on a slate like this that's smaller, but we've kind of hit on some of these names. We've thrown out Hilton's name. We've thrown out KJ Hamler. We've thrown out Jennings. Who else have we thrown out? Juszczyk. So just some of our favorite undrafted players. Are there any other names that you guys want to throw out that are getting deep down here, getting gross?
Anthony Schwartz.
Anthony Schwartz, interesting one. Why Numi? What's that? What about
it's
Schwartz?
Literally, it's nothing. I mean, there's nothing about it. The fact that I don't think he's gonna be drafted like in 10%, 5%, even 2%. Like I don't think many people are gonna draft him. And it's
I'd
just
say
like,
under 2.
And it's just like if we're just playing the numbers game, where it's just I mean, you talked about it with Mark, and it was just perfect. Like if these guys simply are just not gonna be drafted. What we immediately should just be like, okay, let's try and like, and it's not like it's not like I'm really high on him or anything, but it's just like he has the ability to possibly get there. I don't know his targets and snaps, so maybe he doesn't. But it's just
he's
like
out there. He's out there. He played
one lineup with him, so it's just kind of like I'm mixing in those. It's just that when I get to the last round, I'm scrolling down. I'm doing the thing that we've been trying to do. It's just like instead of like okay, clicking this, do that. It's like I just scroll down a little bit. It's like okay, these are gross. Perfect. This is what I need. A little gross.
Exactly.
And I add them to the lineup. So
yeah, I mean, he's a dude. He plays football. He's out there, you know.
Yeah.
Newbie, throw your hand at the camera there. It just went fuzzy for a sec. Just see if that helps you out. Might be an internet thing. All good. I like this one. This is the one I was going to bring up. Jordan Mason. We were off Jordan Mason last week. Collectively, I thought it was quite sharp that even though TDP didn't play the previous week, the majority of people gravitated, and it just shows you how sharp this industry is getting, is the majority of people gravitated towards TDP, even though he was healthy and active, right? Over Jordan Mason. And it's like, whoa, back in the day, we'd be like, whoa, Mason played last week. Like, of course he's going to be higher on the depth chart, but he's primarily a special teamer. But now with no TDP, what are we doing here? Maybe it's him. Maybe it's Marlon Mack. I mean, Marlon Mack's played a little ball in his day. Like he's a decent piece, right? He's been cut, whatever, who cares? Like, I don't know. Between Jordan Mason and Marlon Mack, one of them gets 6 touches. You know, maybe that's back end flex worthy. Just something to think about, right?
Yeah, he would probably be my choice as well. I do think it's pretty logical to look at that backfield and say that like Marlon Mack was cut by the Houston Texans. Mason has been here from camp from the get-go that Mason would be the RB2, but it would be the most shanny thing in the world to like, on the first time the rotations come in, here's Marlon Mack getting a carry on like 3rd and 6. Yeah. It's like, what the fuck? Like why?
Yeah, no,
And
100%.
and like who would be surprised? So I would, if you're volume drafting, I think you might want to mix in just a smidge of Marlon Mack, maybe one or two.
Yeah, and I think in the context of mixing in running backs, I wouldn't do it in 0 RB builds. I wouldn't go that extreme. You know what I mean? Like where it's like you're just reliant on those are the only RB points we're going to be scoring this week. I mean, it can work. It can work if you run perfect on the other spots and you get the fall in the end zone touchdown that's 6 points and everybody else falls flat. But I do think that this slate, context aside, is very top heavy with the running back, right? Because we have 4 players who were, top 5, 6 round picks. And then Jeff Wilson was a darling of everybody late and now has the role. So if we just tell ourselves that Jeff Wilson is drafted where Elijah Mitchell was going in best ball season, we have 5 running backs on a 2-game slate that were all in the top 5 rounds of drafts. Now that's not adjusting for ADP and context and whatever, but just as a macro level view, okay, that's kind of top heavy for just a 2-gamer, right?
Yeah, there's like the running back options. Like when you have when you basically have 2 teams that have the backfields of Chubb and then Hunt, then you have Williams and Gordon. It's like right there you have on just 2 teams 4 solid options. Like legitimately, I mean that I would be fine with. I know people, Melvin Gordon, but it's like I'm fine with him in this contest. That's found that.
Oh,
like,
absolutely.
So yeah, like you immediately have that.
He's one of the better clicks.
Yeah, and then and then you have Najee. So then we don't even talk, and then we have Najee, who's I mean, projection wise, won't even get into that, is the best. I don't agree with that really, but
that's the Blitz has Najee as the best play.
As of now, and so and that's that's even over Chubb and Debo. So, but I just think with the how heavy.
I mean, you could see it. I can see it. Why not?
But that it's great just immediately saying that how heavy running back is. I mean, to your point, you just said if the running back position falls flat, and you do get that fall on the touchdown, and then everything. I mean, and then everything else is either like enough of what you need. That is what you need essentially. So, like that's how I played it with Hassan Haskins. I didn't talk about it on the show because I wasn't really sure. Did a little thing, and then all of a sudden I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to play all the Hassan Haskins, and then he doesn't fall in the end zone, doesn't do anything. So, but not having Reggie Gilman. Yeah, we basically should have just ended it right there.
53,000 lineups, no Reggie Gilliam. That's a tough scene. That's a tough scene.
Yeah, a little bit. And that's immediately my Anthony Schwartz and just anything lineup. It's like I don't want to do that again. Where it's just like, man, like he, you know what I mean? And now I need to check in if he's what's going to tell them, or just anyone, like just Juwan Jennings. I know he goes often, but check, like, just like, wow, like that was just, how did we not just add 1 or 2 lineups of that in there? You know what I mean? Like that's the thing.
For sure.
So.
Okay, let's do last one, quick rapid fire. Who's our favorite player at ADP, cost adjusted? What do you guys like? Favorite player on the slate at their current price point?
Justin Jefferson. Oh wait, no.
Yeah, there you go.
I think George Kittle for me. I feel like he's going to play, getting in this limited work, and feeling very excited about Jimmy G being back. And at tight end, he has like the highest ceiling like on the slate, let alone for his position. So I'm pretty excited about getting George Kittle where he's going.
Yeah, I would echo that. And the fact that he had a limited practice this early in the week is encouraging. I mean, I think he did it last week too, but it's encouraging. It's the only working piece of knowledge. And then beat reporters saying expected to play, and this sort of stuff is okay. Like now we're getting somewhere with this. So I would echo the sentiments on Kittle, but I'll pick a different one after. Numi, who you got for me?
I'll echo Silas in the chat because that was mine, which was Judy.
Yeah, I mean, just speaking to our exposures, we both spoke on our exposures. He's our number one exposed.
It's Judy
player,
and Kittle tied at literally the top. So it's the same thing. Like if Nez wouldn't have said Kittle and said Judy, I would have said Kittle. So like that's where I'm at.
Yeah. No, I really like both of those. I think, I really like both of those. There's not much more you can say apart from they're elite skill position players that can break a slate, that are both getting suppressed, and you can get them in the third round of this contest. Now, is it introducing a lot of variance? Yes. But are you going to take a 0 by eating that variance? No. So your lineups are still alive. So I'm getting pretty heavily after those two as well. So I'm glad we're kind of on the same train of thought there. I think my favorite outside of those two, I think my favorite outside of those two is Debo, because I like taking Debo over Chubb right now. I think Debo's in a great game environment. I think Debo, with the cornerbacks being out, with him being able to mix in a rushing floor, like, I'll just eat the variance of Debo being like the guy who can go 190 every single week if given the right environment. So I like Debo's ceiling more so than Nick Chubb's chances of scoring 3 touchdowns again, right?
Yeah, 100%.
That being said, I'm obviously mixing them all and blah blah blah, and the way we construct our lineups is what gives us our edge. But fuck that, bro science shit. Debo Samuel, let's go. Put all the money in the middle. Debo Samuel, why not? Right?
And in theory,
you know what we need?
Jimmy's maybe an upgrade for Debo. Like, so if any week for Debo to put up that number, this could be that week. And you just talked about Surtain and everything. So
yeah.
I like it.
No, because he takes away all those rushing attempts that Lance is going to have now get dispersed between Wilson and maybe what do we do in projections? We add maybe 3.3 more rushing attempts per game to Debo Samuel. Like, that's probably what I'll do.
Read options with Jimmy G, baby. they're running that zone read, baby.
Yeah.
Jimmy's out there.
Yeah. Silas is on it, man. 86% through 19 drafts. I just an overarching, like, this is what we would constitute as an exploitative strategy, right? He's seeing something that he really likes and he's isolating it every time in which he gets the opportunity to do so. I think that's a very viable strat, and the less entries you have, the more you should be doing this. But it's always going to be slate dependent and relative to the amount of entries in which you're putting in. But it is obviously higher variance because you're pinning the majority of your bankroll of those entries on one player, right? So
I like it though, because it's like when we talk about that position and the drop off, like I mean, I already spoke to it. Kittle's the guy that can give you, like, Kittle's the guy. Like, I think people forget what not you guys, but just maybe because we haven't seen him, of what Kittle's ceiling actually is, and it's 10, 1, 8 or 10, 1. I mean, I won't go 1, 8, 10, 150 and 2. Like, the dude can
30 points. Yeah, he's got a 30-point.
And it's like coming from your tight end position, it's just like, you don't have Kittle, you're dead. So I like that. One thing I do want to ask about, so he's taking the Nez approach and saying he's full fading Najee when Nez did the Henry. Are you mixing in Warren, like, trying to, or are you just basically kind of Xing out like that offense, that team, or is it just your only thing is just full fade Najee and then how the board falls to you? I'm just interested in that because that's in it. I haven't done the full fade player yet, like that, and that's because I do quite a bit of lineups, but that's just my thing. So I'm just interested how he's implementing that throughout his 19 so far.
Something that I want to do more, and when I do more of these today, is double tap tight end and get Freiermuth and Kittle on a lot of teams. We saw last week, definitely not like trying to do results analysis here. The last time that they did the 2 Monday night games with a 2-game slate, a double tight end lineup took it. I just think that Freiermuth is very much an elite target earner at the tight end position. If they get down to the goal line, Freiermuth gets his touchdown, and then, if Kittle's active, he smashes. I mean, obviously, if you draft him and they score, you do well. But I think that there's some leverage there, given how nasty the rest of the options are. Just to get unique.
Yeah, and how good the top 2 are versus the rest of the field of that, right? I think there's a lot that makes a lot of sense. And in bad weather environments, like, what are we running? We're running bunch sets. We're running tight to the line. We're running short, middle of the field routes. What does that always incorporate? A 97% snap player at tight end or 87% snap player at tight end.
Mm-hmm.
What do you guys like here? Let's build this one together. We got Sutton staring us in the face, or we can go the Najee route. We can go Javonte. What do you guys like here?
I would take Sutton if I was drafting.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, I think there's kind of a clear, maybe not crystal clear top 3, but I think that's kind of
in some order, yeah.
Yeah, in some order that gravitates that. And then there's another little bunch of the next 5, but I think the next 3 are more premium of that tier, right?
Yeah, it'd be kind of rare to see someone at the 4 or 5 not come away with Najee.
Yeah. Do we want to build out double Denver here, or do we want to try and get another game environment?
I
would say Javonte.
Just want to. Oh yeah, I like Javonte. I will say KJ is practicing for the second straight day.
KJ Hamler is.
Yep, I'm trying to see if there's anything on Judy.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I mean, that's why you come here, man. Numi's got the boots on the ground. He's got the hard-hitting beat reporters. He got him in his back pocket, man. You think he's searching Twitter right now? He's getting text direct to Numi, like straight.
Yeah, I got 3
Shane.
phones right here. Yeah,
Numi Schefter over here.
Yeah,
it's incredible.
Judy was a DMP.
Judy with another DMP.
Yeah,
yes.
on today.
Not great, yeah. Bob. Not great, Bob.
It is not great.
Not ideal.
But I
really like the way that
we
are falling right now.
We don't care until Friday. We somewhat care today, but we really don't care until tomorrow.
That's fair.
True.
Yep, that's entirely fair.
And then all of a sudden it's panic, all SpongeBob memes when he's not playing. And it's just like, oh god, it's Kendall.
I think.
Do you go Russ here?
I think it's
I wouldn't even risk it.
It's a very obvious Russ right here because he can't take another running back, and we get the Jeff Wilson bring back on the end, in my opinion.
Yep. And that would be so sick.
Yeah.
You've drafted a lineup
I could be talked into Ayuk even, but
sure.
Kittle, because Kittle's still here, but
Kittle just went. Kittle went. That's why I would have contemplated Kittle, but Kittle went at the 2-3. Yeah. Yeah. So for me right here, crazy. I mean, we can debate between Jeff Wilson or Ayuk right here. I think
either way, it's leverage off of Kittle.
Right? Yeah. I think it's kind of fine.
I think I would go Wilson. Like? I think I would go Wilson and maybe try to get Judy next.
Okay.
What do you think, Numi? Or do you want to take?
No, I like that.
Okay.
Yeah, so now we can either see. It's interesting because it's interesting that you said Judy next. In this build, is actually an area I wouldn't target Judy. I wouldn't go full onslaught here and embrace the variance of Judy because we already went double Denver, and I would double tap the shittier game environment, or what we've classified the shittier game environment, with tight end, and it was hopefully going to be Pickens there, but I would tap this game environment now.
Yeah, that's fair. With this many lineups, that's probably the smart move. I would like to have a lineup where I have nothing in Pittsburgh, Cleveland, personally.
Right.
I think that's leverage, and I think to me, I think it can work.
I think
out.
A lot of people are doing that though.
Nobody's full. I don't know. A lot of people are full fading the game necessarily on purpose.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, I mean, I think sometimes the way the board breaks to you, like people end up in natural fades of it. But yeah, it's interesting. I don't know. It's going to be so fun to play these games when we have projected ownership data. It's going to be insane.
Yeah.
I think this is a gift.
Oh wow.
I mean, it's not our favorite play on the slate, and we haven't talked about Amari Cooper at all, but he's still Amari Cooper. And yes, the weather's bad, but he had 11 targets last week. 10 targets last week. And we just click Amari Cooper's name.
That's a certified no-brainer.
Yeah. And then now it's kind of weird because tight end, we're going to get kind of squeezed out in this build. So I don't know who you guys kind of like in this deep area, but I have one name. I want to see if you guys say the same name.
If Njoku makes it back, I mean,
Njoku came back. Came back.
To me, you just got to take that floor. But I know Harrison Bryant
Okay.
has gotten some drum beats. So if you want to just take a look at his game line, people are low key trying to get cute and play Harrison Bryant more. I heard his name getting thrown around a couple times.
Okay, so you know what's interesting is we just talked about this. We're gonna take Njoku here and just have double-sided Cleveland there. It's interesting to just talk about. Hold on, it's kind of annoying that I have to
do the pop out and then
I have to do the smaller window. Yeah, I got to reshare the tab or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But I got to do the smaller window now that we got the overlay going on too. You know, the perks of
moving parts.
Yeah, the pitfalls of production value. You know, pitfalls of production.
We need a producer.
Yeah,
I'm kidding. You're doing great. You're like a front man. Playing guitar and singing. How about the logo real quick? They just added the new TNF logo. That is hilarious. It's for Mike Tyson, if you didn't know.
Yeah, no, I got that, but I didn't realize they're doing a promo with him or something like that, or is it just entirely just a shout?
It's just named after like the boxing game.
Oh yeah, so it's just like they're going knockout, we're going Tyson on the dog and whatever. Because they changed that this morning, and I was like,
I thought it was because Mike Tyson has the lisp, so he would say Thunday. That's what I thought.
He's gonna find you.
I thought. Okay, yeah, he cares about me.
Numi, that was pretty legit.
He's gonna find you. He's gonna see. He's like, "Are you scared?
If you want my general thought, when I saw that, I'm just like, "Hey, that's pretty clever. I like that. That's savage, but it's clever." And now I wish I wouldn't have said it on stream, but we're here.
That's a nice combo there by Neo.
Yeah, this is unique. Yeah, Neo's saying that he got a Debo plus Najee. Like, that's nice, right? Yeah, you guys want to run one or two more here, and
let's do it.
All right.
I got deep.
Actually, you know what? What I was trying to do, I get distracted. What I was trying to do was share that draft board, because after we just spent the whole time talking about like, oh, how we should like get unique and whatever, we just took a bunch of like chalky looking guys when it was actual practice all of a sudden. Let's see. There we go. We got that there.
Yeah. Works.
Okay. Yeah. So like after we just said, hey, we got to get unique, we got to reach on some guys at the end and blah, blah, blah. What makes this lineup for me personally, and why I constitute eating some more chalk in this lineup then, because the name in the back of my mind for that last pick was Ross Dwelly, and just being like, hey, we get that one-off touchdown and we get Kittle doesn't play, so he gets first team tight end reps, because there's another bit of leverage there. And that was just a player's name that we haven't talked about yet, right? What I think in this construction that makes it better to take Njoku is the fact that we got Russ, Wilson, and Cooper, who are traditionally speaking, having done, 20 or whatever of these already this morning. These guys are traditionally going all bunched together in the middle of the draft board, picks 8 through 12, 13, something like this. So the fact that we take those three from that middle and then we line them up this way with at a pick 11, 14, and 19, I think it just makes our ownership, like the combinatorial ownership, unique enough that we can just take the quote unquote play the best play in Njoku at tight end. Do you guys agree with that line of thinking, or would you have preferred we got a little weird with tight end there?
No, I would have went with the safe floor with Njoku here. You might be able to like median projection your way into some nice cash with a lineup like this. It's like you said, it's pretty rare to get these guys all at once. You just get a bunch of middling scores like this. The top score could be so bad. It would not surprise me if we're looking at like a 69 point like bank here. Like it's gonna be sick.
Yeah, I mean, we had a 9-game baseball slate last night with Coors on it. Or actually, they turned it into a 7-game slate. 7-game slate with Coors on the slate, and the winning score was like 104 or something like that.
Yeah, that's not
like,
high in baseball.
Like, shit happens in these contests that, quote unquote unpredictable. Like, we all want our fantasy guys to hit mean projection. The fact of the matter is that's not how scoring in football actually occurs, right? It's
Exactly.
it's 0 or 7 or 0 or 6 for a touchdown. It's not 3.65 for a touchdown, right? For the projectable touchdown.
Exactly.
Yeah, Michael's rolling his eyes right here. Combinatorial. The people hate it. The people hate it. It's going to be next year. I've said this like 5 times. This is going to be next year's week 17. So get used to it, because people are going to start using the overlay tools. They're going to realize that, hey, my combination of, I had so much Gabe Davis. I didn't win because it was all tied to whatever other player. Like, they're going to start realizing, right?
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a thing. The only way we can get is smaller and more micro with this best ball stuff, and that is going to be a very easy way to do so.
Yeah, no, for sure. Numi, you like that build? Would you have taken Njoku?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Most likely. Yeah.
Yeah. For all the same reasons stated.
Yeah. I have nothing to get you. Yeah, I don't need to take up more time because that was literally everything I could have said, but better. Okay. So, yeah. No, I mean, when you're taking the 2 guys from the higher total team, so if they just blanket the Steelers, like, you're still getting the points necessary from that game. So I like it.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah, no, I like
and I like I like the dwelly thinking, because you also then. Well, no, you wouldn't actually. So never mind. I won't say that because that makes no sense. But that's I was going to bring up this. Yeah, I Javonte Debo. I know you had a Javonte Chubb team, so I've seen Javonte fall a little bit. So
yeah, I'd have to look through. I don't want to bring up the HUD on screen and stuff like that and expose all my my portfolio to the people. I don't want everyone to know what I'm fully doing.
So
because
sweaty.
This is
so sweaty.
It is, man. But like I said, I said to Numi earlier, I've seen many dudes go broke in the poker industry streaming like 1K, 2K games and like thinking, hey, look at this. I'm building my following. I got 30 people watching, and the only 30 people watching are the 30 people in the player pool sweating his ass, and then just chalking them apart. Right. So I'm like, I got to keep a little bit behind closed doors. Right?
I don't blame you on a small split. On a small slate, it's fine.
Let's get back to that in a second. Do we like Debo or Chubb here? What do you guys want to build?
Debo. Fade him.
Numi's awfully quiet.
What do you think? Man? Are you not feeling it?
I don't know.
Get weird.
I mean, yeah, no, I've just been taking more of just, if I have second pick, I take Debo, just because I can't get Chubb at the second pick. I've never got. I think only one time, and of course I was in the third or fourth. So that's just kind of how I'm playing it. But
no,
I can't. I'm not going to be mad at Debo or anything. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Well, I think when you're building multiples, that's literally how you have to play these. I think getting weird at 101, it's just you get 101 so rare that not in a 4-man, but in other contests, like throughout BBM, there's a lot of talk of like randomizing 101 and that sort of thing. Like, you get 101 so rare that you have to take players who don't fall past 103. I don't care which player you pick within those 3, but you have to pick a player who doesn't fall too far, too many standard deviations away from ADP, right?
Yeah, I would advise doing something like that. I mean, you could have gotten crazy, and if you wanted, I think who was it? Rob Coakley for Spike Week. I think he has like a ton of Jamar Chase. He just he just decided he just was going to get unique and try to leverage the field on Jamar Chase. I did it with CMC. I have like a few JT teams in my 150 portfolio, but mostly I was going CMC 101, 102 as often as I could, just to try to get a leg up. So far, like isn't really quite paying off, but it's week 2.
Oh yeah. To piggyback on Silas, what I was just wait to say is, yeah, CMC got added to the injury report. So
You love to see
Ooh.
it.
limited practice,
Ooh.
but listing as precautionary after some stiffness after last week's game. He is expected to play as all
Okay,
the.
I got you. Oh, how unique! How unique, you asked, Silas? How unique just fell in our goddamn laps. Let's
Wow,
go.
man. That is
Hey, you know what?
fantastic.
Sometimes it's just better to be lucky than good. And that's what my whole life is, man.
I think it's Javonte Hunt.
Yeah, I think it's Javonte Hunt by a landslide.
Yep.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
fantastic.
Yeah, you get the bring back of maybe the best running back play on the slate, and then you get the Hunt leverage off Chubb. You know, let's just keep streaming forever. This streamer EV is working. This streamer EV is working in my favor, nonstop out
You're
here.
gonna,
This is
yeah,
incredible.
it's gonna be 4:00, and all of a sudden we're gonna get a notification. The Badge Bros are going live, and
Yeah,
you're gonna be like,
I'm
okay,
crabbing.
guys, I'm doing some MLB drafts. Come on. It's just gonna,
I'm just
like,
gonna start
what is
solo
going
cramming.
on?
I'm gonna start solo cramming before lock just for the run good. Like just get
for
up.
the run, good.
Next thing you know, it's like he runs just a Mookie Trey Freddie, and it's just like, this is unbelievable.
This is a very cool question, though, that like without ownership projections and just basing on the fact that like, hey, we know both these players are 100% owned, and we know both of them go in the first 5-6 picks usually. How rare is the combination of Debo and Javonte? And you kind of just throw your arms at it and just go, I don't know, man. I honestly don't know how rare it is. I'm sure I could dive in and understand like deviations away from ADP and build out a projection model in that regard. Let's do this. That seems good.
Yeah.
And then
What are the
Jimmy's
quarterbacks?
already
And we're locked
gone.
out a
Yeah,
quarterback.
we're locked out a quarterback. We got
So I think you can
Mitch.
just wait.
Yeah, so
I would do Kittle for sure, and then I like Claypool.
yeah, I was about to say if we do Kittle, Claypool break the slate. Who doesn't have a quarterback yet?
Yeah, it's
The
just
player beside us has no Pittsburgh, and he's on that Cleveland side. So maybe he doesn't take Mitch. So we take Claypool and wait on Mitch, and then just get Mitch as a stack like that.
Yeah, I know my boy Nez loves Mitch. Super high.
You know, you want real leverage, get that second half Kenny Pickett.
Oh my
they
God,
won't.
that's
They
so
won't. There's
nasty.
no way on a
That'd be
Thursday
so
night. On a
nasty.
Thursday night, they will not go all Tennessee on them. No, they will
Thursday
not.
night, down 3 scores at half.
You
Here
would
comes
think
Kenny Pickett
the first time they want to
day.
put Kenny Pickett in the game, they want to give him the longest amount of prep time possible. Not, oh crap, here's the Browns and it's in Cleveland, right? Like,
Yeah, I think they want Pickett to start at home and have a full week's build up to hype them up. Yo, Pittsburgh, your guy's here. Your U-Pitt guy is here. It's time, blah, blah, blah.
Mason Rudolph.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I would sooner jump out of my window on stream than take Mason Rudolph on the team.
Oh, I love it. I just kind of
Myles
clicked
Garrett
Kittle.
thinks the
There
same.
was definitely more of a discussion. Hey, that was nice. That was nice that we looked at the board. We isolated that.
Handshake.
Handshakes around. Firm handshakes. Firm handshakes
Yeah,
around
start
on
tapping
that
the
one.
emojis on these like builds. Like,
I wish
say,
that was so fun on the old draft. Sorry, go ahead, John.
I just want to say that there probably was a bit of discussion here, just given the fact that we have Debo to take Kittle like that. But I think he's just such an elite guy, and that both of them can get home. Why not? Basically.
Yeah.
You guys want to run one more? One more, no more.
Yeah. Let's do a an encore. One
right.
final curtain call.
Let's do it. Yeah. Yeah, so I was saying the same thing. If they play Pickett, it'll be week 4. I tend to agree with that. 10 days away, home game.
Gretsch on Stealing Signals this week had a really funny open, just like pure cope about. Admittedly, it's about losing Trey Lance, and he's like, Kenny Pickett is our hope. He's like, stash Kenny Pickett. If it's a terrible game or if he gets in, like, you know, you got him as your replacement. And then at the end, it's just like, in Pickett we trust. It was just hilarious. Just
That's so good.
The come around on Pickett there. But honestly, if you have Pittsburgh Steelers on any high stakes teams, you are praying that it's Pickett sooner than later. Just, I mean, that's your only hope. It truly, it's bad news bears over there because the line isn't even that bad. Like everyone was worried in the preseason about how bad the offensive line was. They don't look bad. It's just pure incompetence right now. So
the one thing that's interesting about Trubisky is just he's really never played any football, and it's just kind of always been hype and hoopla around him. Like he played 1 year as a starter at UNC. We just going Debo here. I think
I have trouble not taking Debo.
Yeah, we took him. We took him in the first pick there. This will be interesting. If nothing falls to us, to build maybe a Debo Hunt in a different fashion, because we talked about how that Debo Hunt 2-man was something we were gravitating towards because of leverage off of Chubb. So it might be interesting here.
What?
I think if Sutton falls, we take him.
It's got to be Najee.
I think it has to be Najee.
We're just getting the nut 2v2s just all day.
Well, as soon as we got between Sutton and Najee, and it's the last pick, it's like we get one of those two. It's like what?
Right.
Yeah. I'm just gonna literally, dude. You get your ass out of Canada, come over here, and just start drafting for me, so I can get these combos. I'm getting tired of it. I'm in a Discord with you, and it's just like, oh, look at this. I'm just like,
these are the special Canadian lobbies. These are only Canadian players.
Yeah, what are we doing here?
And now I think we take Hunt here. Because I don't want to double up with Ayuk there.
I mean, you could take my boy Juszczyk. No, just kidding. No, not with Debo. Not with Debo. So,
yeah, I think this is a really nice start that is probably decently unique as well. So,
hey, what province are you in? You're in a?
I'm in BC, so I'm in Vancouver.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I was like,
one of the most beautiful places on planet Earth.
How is my man playing right now? And I'm just like, oh, it's not like Ontario and all that, you know.
Yeah, Ontario had access for a while, and then it went away because they basically tried to monopolize the Ontario, tried to legalize gambling. Well, it was legal, and the poker was legal, but they tried to do it under their own umbrella, so they basically just could have a cut kind of deal. So, yeah.
Did Russ go?
Russ did not go. Thanks for that.
I jinxed it. I jinxed the living shit out of it. I'm sorry.
My God. What do you guys like here? This is kind of where the board gets a little hairy, and we kind of got to start making some decisions here. He's taking tight end, so we probably don't have to take tight end yet. Do we just take another swing at Judy here, or do we kind of?
I would maybe go Pickens or Judy.
Okay, we'll do Pickens because we've been talking up Judy a lot, and let's just get a little different here. Go Pickens with it, and then
I think it's a matter of time before Pickens has that game. The oh shit, like there he is, the guy that we were waiting for.
An afterthought?
Yeah, I mean Claypool led the team in snaps last week, so he can definitely get home. Do we just stack Mitch right now, or do we take the Njoku and then get the other end of that, or we'd go Alberto, bring back, and then hope Mitch comes?
I guess it's Alberto.
Yeah, I don't know. We
that snuck up on us. Jeez.
Yeah,
I was not. I don't know where my head was there, but yeah, I think that's fine.
Are you a Pickens over Claypool just in general on this slate?
I mean, we took Claypool in another draft, so just like mixing up that exposure, and I think that their ceilings are they pretty similar and probably the same likelihood of hitting them. Just right now with the way that they've been on the field, like equal parts. And Pickens is a dog. It's just he just hasn't gotten it yet, and like I said, I think Canada potentially Matt Canada is like he cannot step foot out in Pittsburgh right now. Like it's very, very much not liked. Maybe mixing it up, maybe like a little squeaky wheel narrative there for Pickens. So that's my take there.
Okay. QB1? QB1?
Could you imagine QB1? Game time breaking news from Shefty?
Oh man,
it's got to be.
I think it's obvious that we take Mitch here. Yeah. I don't love having the running
Josh
back.
Dobbs.
Yeah,
Josh what are we doing?
You gotta hope it's like an 8-catch Najee day with the Pickens, like
dude, Kellen Mond. That man's great.
I actually kind of liked Kellen Mond coming out, like Texas A&M guy that
I liked him as
looked
well.
decent. Yeah, I mean he was a Viking, right? The last year.
Yeah.
And this year,
Yeah.
and then he had a decent first preseason game, and was not a backup quarterback in this league. What he showed.
Yeah, fair
Which
enough.
is hard.
Yeah. Yeah, when you
There's
got
a
Mason,
lot
when
of
you got
dookie
Mason
quarterbacks
Rudolph.
there.
Yeah, Mason Rudolph is there, guys, and it's just like, yeah. So, but yet Kellen Mond is struggling to be. I mean, when Watson comes back, he's probably not on the team. So anyway, not that matters. But
Yeah. All right, boys. Another pleasurable Badge Bros stream. Built a couple of hopefully unique teams. We didn't get weird with it at the end because some value just kept falling to us. So we're gonna have to get weird on our own with our own builds coming up here. Pick some of those late one-offs and just try and bink yourself a Ross Dwelly touchdown. That's the guy this week, huh?
yeah, the thing that's gonna, like, I guess not suck, but like you could be in first after tonight, and it's like that does not matter. Like it's just kind of like you have to
You gotta
wait.
wait 3 days.
Yeah, you
gotta
gotta wait 3 days, and then you have to wait the whole main slate for the arguably another not exciting game. So it's just like, woo.
You need a
It'll be
Dwelly and a use
interesting.
check on every team. That's the motto.
Yeah, there
I
you go.
think I expect
One or
them
the
to
other.
do like a Monday night Sunday Monday night.
Yeah, that's
That would
exactly
be-
what I was gonna say.
Okay, yeah.
I think as soon as this one closes tonight, I think they're on to the fact that these two gamers, both in terms of collusion, dupage, and everything, are so much better to have two games than to have those solo showdown ones with the 3-mans. So I think Underdog is real sharp and they're onto it. They're like, okay, here we go. We'll run as soon as this one closes tonight. I bet you that one opens up again where it's like Sunday, Monday, right? All right.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Oh, Hope just showed up, and we're so sorry, Hope. We're done. Scroll that thing back. We drafted some amazing teams, and let's get it. Let's get it. Getting some good shit shutouts. Let's go.
Thanks.
Really craving it.
Thanks,
Carlos. There we go.
These
Thank you
clips
so
that
much.
we're about to run are for you, Carlos.
Oh, yeah.
That's for
No,
you, man.
and for Hope. And for Hope.
Yeah, of
Just
course,
for
of course.
showing up for the best part of the show, the end. Let's go. Roll the clips.